Oh, good morning. I see Kate. I see Yulia. I'm sorry, Vera can't be with us this morning. Kate, how's your flood control going?
Uh, well, I'm in California now.
Oh,
I came out on Sunday, and I got it to the best point I can. This is a trip that I've had planned for a couple of months to see my mom and family, and um, so it's kind of in a state of arrest right now, and then I'll go back and continue the process.
bravo. Hope this class will help you.
Thank you. Hope so too.
Um, I'm wondering if we should start. This change of schedule, I know, has impacted a couple people. Oh, I'm going to check back into the Telegram group.
We are ready.
Oh, I can't see with that. Okay. Will there be, because yes, there's a class now. Okay, well, I think, Gina, you think we should just start? Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. So, as you know, we've been rushed from one to another Zoom class. And we're going to start this morning with a meditation. And I'm so happy to see you here this morning. Thank you for everything you've all done to be here together. So please get into a comfortable position. And that's just standing up, sitting up straight on the floor or on a chair. And begin to still your body and be aware of your breathing. And draw your awareness to the tip of your nose. And put your attention on the sensation of your breath at the tip of your nose. Now bring your mind to someone who you consider to be an important teacher in your life. And invite them to come sit with you in your meditation. And begin to think about the good qualities they have. What good things did they teach you? And there's nothing more that makes a teacher feel happy than to know that you're teaching, that you're practicing what they taught you. So in your meditation, tell them one thing that you're doing and that you're striving to become better at. Something they may have taught you. And importantly, while you're telling them this, cultivate a big feeling of joy as you're sharing this with them. And now, because we're not yet perfect, we do make mistakes. So tell your teacher about one of your mess ups. Then take a moment and look around your world, your friends, your family, and think on any of those who are exhibiting good qualities. And let your teacher know that you're noticing other people and the good things that others are doing. And then, importantly, ask your teachers to keep teaching you. Ask them to show you the things you need to know. And as you are asking, see them very happily, very joyfully saying, yes. Yes, I will help you. And then ask them to stay close. And again, they say yes. And their first act to stay close is that they begin to rise up from the ground and shrink down very, very small. And they turn around to face the same way you're facing. And they rest very small, like a thumbnail on the top of your head. And then, like golden honey, they melt down into you all the way into a very special place in your heart. And feel now that they will be with you there always, available for any questions or guidance as you need it. So now take 3 long, deep breaths. Exhale completely. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. For those of you just starting on this path, please feel free to reach out during the week, and we can talk some more about some specific meditation techniques and practices, okay? And we have a whole course on meditation down the road, so stay tuned. So we've been talking about and now meditating on how to unlock a realization of renunciation in our hearts. Because this is what gets us powerfully started on this path. And I came across this picture from a big event in November 2016, opening our translator college. The handsome young man sitting next to me is my younger brother. And he died in May of 2019. And the beautiful young woman to my other side was a dear friend in the Dharma, and she died in November of 2021. This picture inspires me to work hard and master how the world and my mind works, how they work. Because scriptures say that all the suffering in the world, including death, is simply caused by wrong thinking. So if I believe that I can change the world by changing the way I think, I'm in. So I hope you've been coming up with things that you just can't take anymore. Things that make you pull your hair out, or make you sad, or make you wring your hands with pain and worry. And during our last class, we were talking about some very cool ancient ideas that could help us experience the world and our minds differently. And we talked about a lot of different things. We presented a lot of information. And I hope we covered it in a way that was accessible. But again, I want to say, please don't worry if you don't understand things right away. Because every time we hear this information, it will sink in deeper, and it finally will open up in us eventually. So remember, as we go through these courses and something doesn't quite make sense, just take in what you can and put the rest on a shelf. Let it sit there, let it get dusty, and every once in a while, take it out and clean it up a little bit. Because when you bring it down again, you'll have a different relationship with it. You'll have a different feeling around it, because you will have practiced and done that meditation we just did over and over and over again, and in different ways. And what this meditation is ripening are the keys that you will need to unlock the doors of all the new practices we're going to learn. And you do need a teacher to do that. So the very first step in the Lam Rim, and think about it, in anything else that we do, is that we need a teacher. Who taught you how to use the bathroom? And they probably also taught you how to walk and how to speak and how to eat your food. My mom was a school teacher, and at home she continued to teach me too. She taught me how to write the best reports, and she would work all day teaching other kids and then come home at night and help me patiently with all my homework. And in my work career, these skill sets that she so lovingly developed in me carried me onward, starting successful business after successful business, helping at-risk communities around the world. She drove me to violin lessons for years, making sure I had the best teachers, no matter where in the world we were living. she drove me to symphony orchestra rehearsals and performances, working under some of the most famous conductors in the world. I was horse crazy, and my mom made sure I had horseback riding teachers. And no matter what I wanted to do, my mom made sure I had the right teacher to guide me through the locked doors of practices that would lead me to success. And without my mom, who was putting me in front of teacher after teacher, maybe I would not be who I am now. You know, feeling pretty fulfilled and happy and empowered and satisfied. So when I realized this finally, I was well into my 50s. And it dawned on me that she cared enough about me to make sure all the doors I wanted to go through were opened through the guidance of a teacher. And it felt impossible to thank her enough. And actually, it's thanks to other teachers, my Buddhist teacher, who, as we learned, is backed by a long interrupted lineage of other teachers. My Buddhist teacher is the one who taught me how to thank my mother, which is by learning how to be a kinder person and a happier person. And so this teacher has made my mom super happy. So to be able to understand these ideas and integrate them into your life, you do need the key. Someone to show you what you cannot see behind these locked doors. And this can be any person. It doesn't have to be a monk or a nun. But your teacher is your personal concierge. They're there to fit you in the way you need it. So it could be your partner, or it could be your grandmother, or maybe it is a master. It doesn't matter, but it's someone who is able to unlock those places in you that you cannot see. Those places in you that you resist and that you don't even know you need to change. So today's class is about who are these people? And we'll talk about what to do if you don't have a teacher. How do you find them? And we're putting find in quotes. How do you get this person to be close enough to you to help you? So we'll talk about 10 qualities that a teacher has that you should look for when evaluating someone as your teacher. Well, what do you mean? Why do you need to evaluate something? Why do you need to evaluate someone? Why can't you just go into any Zoom call and join in on any teacher's class? Well, let's think if you want to learn how to play the piano. How will you decide which teacher to choose? You could look around town and find anyone who has a piano and ask them to help. That might work. But maybe you need to know if they teach the kind of piano you want to learn. Is it classical or jazz? And then you need to find out, are they able to teach? You know, just because they can play doesn't mean they can teach. So you need to also look at the students that the teacher has. Who are the people that they're teaching? And in this Buddhist tradition, what you'll notice especially is that our fellow students aren't perfect either, because we're all students and all of us have negative emotions. And by the way, the ones that annoy you the most usually have the same negative emotions as you do. But apply what the teacher is teaching about karma and emptiness, and you'll soon see that any unkind students will probably become your best friends after you work on changing your own mind. So in this area of study, you're dealing with your mind, your spiritual real estate, and it's extremely valuable. And if someone teaches you something wrong and teaches you to do wrong things, you could really mess yourself up for a long time. So check out your teacher carefully and take your time and don't rush into it. So the first quality we're going to look at is called dulwa. And these next 10 slides have 3 ways of saying that, writing that word. The top way is the transliteration, how the Tibetan script is converted into Roman alphabet. Of course, the middle line is the Tibetan script. And the bottom line is the phonetic, how we would say it in the English language, dulwa. So the first quality talks about someone who controls themselves well. What does this mean? So here we see my 2 young children on horses riding home from school. They would ride back and forth to school every day through the desert. And my younger son would be barefoot. My older son was in shorts, and the dogs followed along. And the children have a sweet, sweet relationship with the horses. And only because these horses were trained so well, they were so tame, did I know my children were safe. Okay? So people who train themselves in kindness and ethics are safe. And we as students are like wild horses. We've never had anyone tell us what goes on with our negative emotions or how to change them or how not to hurt others. And so we're actually pretty scary to other people. And others actually might not feel very safe around us because they might get yelled at or criticized or lied to. So dulwa is like someone who has been tamed. Dulwa means tamed. So you want to find a teacher who has already tamed themselves, who controls themselves, meaning someone who already has a high ethical standard. They have their mind and their behavior under control. So just like my young sons, they could safely ride 2 hours a day and control those horses without getting knocked off. And that is the nature of our negative emotions. They'll knock you off, you can't control them, and others cannot feel safe around you. So by the way, keep in mind, these 10 qualities are qualities to grow into, and they're very high qualities. So see if the teacher exhibits the quality in some way, or does it look like they're working at it? Okay, so working at it counts for a lot. Check out if they are kind to others. Do they treat others well? Do they steal from their students or give to their students? Do they respect their students? Are they honest? The top 10 virtues, do they exhibit them? Because if this is someone you're opening your heart to, you do not want to be taken advantage of. So for the first quality, remember the horses safely and lovingly taking 2 little children to school and home again. Think of someone who has tamed their negative emotions so they can tame your horse, your mind, your heart, and make sure you feel safe around them because of their ethics. So the next quality is Shiwa, and this means peace. They are at peace. What does that mean? Well, in Buddhism, there are a lot of code words, and these are code words. Does it mean that they're one with the Zen of crystals or something? Or are they standing by a still, peaceful lake? What it means is they have developed the capacity to be good meditators. They know how to meditate well, which is a kind of peace. So you want to have someone who can meditate and focus their mind. And this is a big tool in being safe around other people, because they can focus their mind on ultimate compassion while they're teaching you. The third quality is Nirshiwa, which is high peace. And let's look at this picture. It doesn't look like high peace. And it's not about someone meditating at the side of a still lake. What it means is they have an extraordinary practice in wisdom, in reality, which means they use their peace of mind from their meditative concentration and turn it into investigating the nature of reality. How does this world work? And what does the nature of reality have to do with this picture? Well, it's an idea from the old movie, The Matrix. When they're outside the matrix and they're looking at the code, they're able to see behind the reality that's created for them in the matrix. And here you're investigating the deep nature of the way your world works. And you're using meditation to do that. So these first 3 are very important. And the teacher who exhibits these qualities in themselves allows them to be with their students without negative emotions and able to fill the students' needs, bringing them to happiness. So the next slide is having spiritual qualities that exceed those of the student. Yunten lakpa. And yunten means good qualities. In this picture, you see a mom with her son who's washing his hands. And it looks like she's teaching him how to wash his hands. She's there, she's making the motions, and he's looking confident and happy. So the idea here is the person you choose should know more than you, or be better at you, or be better than you at bringing happiness to all people. And this one is kind of obvious. You want your piano teacher to play piano better than you, right? They can only play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star with 2 fingers. They probably can't play Beethoven. So this one's easy. Find someone who knows more than you. The next slide is sunche. Oops, here we go. This person is willing to make great efforts for you. They take great joy in helping you. And I rejoice in the good karma that the teachers I have are willing to help me. Oh my gosh. They're willing to listen to my stuff, usually the same story over and over, things I haven't quite figured out yet. And they enjoy helping and listening to so many people. It's amazing. And no matter at whatever stage of suffering, what my teacher goes through when someone is suffering is so challenging. It just breaks my heart open. They find any way to support you. And there are people in the world who are willing to do this. So these are the ones you're looking for. Watch for the great effort they're willing to make for you. So find someone who's willing to make this investment in you. And this, by the way, is planting and ripening karmic seeds, different from finding, which is why we put find in quotes. And we're going to talk about this in a moment. So find someone who, when you call them up and you say, I'm crashing, find the one who's willing to take that time for you, even if they're busy. So the next quality is that they are rich in scripture, lungi chuk. And I like this picture. This guy is reading a lot. His books are all ripped up. They're falling apart. And you can tell he's read them over and over again. He loves his books. He loves knowledge. He has a hunger for it. So you want a teacher who has a deep, deep knowledge of what they're teaching. And it doesn't mean that you have to already be a library, but it does mean you're constantly studying and you spend hours preparing for a class. So you want someone willing to take that time for you. Now, the next quality is Deni Rabtok. And they should have a deep realization of suchness, meaning they should either have seen emptiness directly, or at least they must have an excellent scriptural and intellectual understanding of it. Ideally, your teacher should have seen emptiness directly, but often people won't tell you, even if you ask them. And most realizations are that way, because realizations in your heart cannot be confirmed. You can't prove it. So the main point here is, do they have a great intellectual, logical, scriptural understanding of emptiness? And we often present an idea of emptiness with a pen. And I cannot see comments in the chat. So if you want to just turn your microphone off and answer the questions, yell it out. So, what is this? It's not a trick question.
This is a pen.
Yay! Thanks, Anna. It's a pen. And you can write with it. It works. Now, what if a dog comes in the room? What is it now?
Ходок – це той.
It's a toy, right? It's a chew toy. So right now, we have to ask, who is right? Is the human right or the dog right? What do you think? Who's right?
Both of them are right for person, for human. It's the pen. For dog, it's the toy, and they are both right because they look from their own side.
Perfect. The object works, it functions for both completely differently, right? For the object functions as a pen for the human and as a chew toy for the dog. They're both right. So now all the dogs leave the room and all the humans leave the room. So what is it now? I don't know. Maybe it's nothing. I mean, who's asking? Who's looking at it to say what it is? So maybe what this shows is that it takes a mind to come along, put the parts together, and throw a label on it, right? The dog is going to assemble the parts and throw a different label on it than the human who comes along, assembles the parts, and throws a label on it. Interesting, right? Is this interesting? I can't see the new people's faces. Oh. So, the next question. Big deal. So what? How does this help me? Dog thinks it's a chew toy. The human calls it a pen. Well, it seems next we have to wonder why it is that the dog does not assemble and label the parts as a pen, so he can write a doggy love poem to his doggy girlfriend. How come? And why doesn't the human assemble the parts as like a flaming sword of wisdom and wipe out all suffering in all realms, including death? Huh? Why not? So I have to say, this is exactly what we're going to be studying over all the courses to come. You know, if the mind already works to assemble parts and label, and I'm seeing results that are painful, how do I use this tool to assemble parts and label with happier results, okay? So how well someone understands emptiness, how great an intellectual, logical, and scriptural understanding of emptiness a person has can be observed in how they handle things when they seem to not be going right. So when someone yells at you for apparently no reason at all, do you yell back? So maybe someone sends them an email explaining in great detail why they are a jerk. Do they react? You know, how does the person respond? So if they write back an equally long email explaining why they're a jerk, that doesn't exactly build relationships. And karmically, it's exactly the wrong thing to do. It just produces more suffering, okay? So find someone who reacts to hard things with wisdom and kindness. Now, the next slide is Make-den. And this means they should be a master instructor, meaning they know their students' capacity well, and they present the amount and order of spiritual information to their capacity. And I love this picture. We see the dog's attention is locked on her master. And we see her master as her friend and teacher, right? We can feel this dog's high level of inspiration and devotion and willingness to do as her teacher instructs. This dog is eager for any signal from her teacher. And you can tell she will do exactly as instructed because they want their teacher to be happy with them. And the meditation we did at the beginning of the class, and we're going to do it again a lot, you're going to think about someone who inspires and motivates you in the same way. This is the person you're going to make offerings to in your meditation, to whom you'll confess and share goodnesses. And in your meditations, you're saying, you know, I'm going to ask you to teach me, and I'm going to ask you to stay, just with the same love that this dog is asking her master. The next quality is this person should be the image of love, teaching the Dharma out of love for you, for the students, and not for any worldly motives. Sewe Dakni. This is the way a child looks at their parents. The way a teacher looks at you. They love you unconditionally. And they only teach because they're loyal to you. And because they want you to reach enlightenment. They just want you to be happy. And they're not looking for anything else. Not money, not fame, only for their love for you. And this last slide is that they never get discouraged. They never tire of repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Like this dog endlessly chasing a frisbee. This is what my teachers do for me. You know, hey, are you having a bad day, Kat? What happened? And I go, wah, wah. And they patiently listen to my story that I've told them many times before, and they never get tired of listening. Like this dog chasing the frisbee, right? And they just keep going with me, listening. And they say, oh, you didn't hear the teaching last week? You know, I told you that everything's coming from you. You didn't hear that? Oh, okay. Well, let's do this again. You were mad at the person last week because why? Oh, they wrote you a bad email? Okay, you got another one this week? Oh, sorry. And eventually, kindly, patiently, they get you to understand that maybe I'm the one complaining about people in my mind all the time. I don't know. I'm always complaining about people in my mind all the time. I'm planting those seeds. And so little tiny complaints that I make about the jerks in my life will create the pages of the email that says why I'm a jerk. And get this, this is so amazing. This is so important. That email did not arrive because a person decided to send me an email. That email arrived because I complain about people in my mind in small ways. Just like the pen, there's no email out there by itself without my seeds ripening to assemble the parts and put the label on it, email calling me a jerk. So this is what we're going to spend years together studying, how this works. So we just went through the 10 qualities that you want to find in a teacher. And we keep talking about finding in quotes, because now we think we need to go on a trip. And we need to go find a teacher, you know, maybe in India or Tibet. Or maybe we should go online and look, right? Is that right? Well, no, that's not right. The main point of listing these 10 qualities is not to go find your teacher. The point is to become those 10 qualities yourself by planting the seeds for those 10 qualities, by how I treat other people. So here in this picture, we see these gardeners must want strawberries, right? So I see the one planting strawberry seeds. Oh, and peas. They must want peas. So they're planting pea seeds. Oh, they must want carrots too. So they're planting carrot seeds. You want a teacher who's ethical and feels safe to be around? So plant that quality in your world by being ethical yourself, and that's what you will sow. You want a teacher who's going to teach you meditation? Well, plant that seed by helping other people meditate. You want a teacher who can teach you about emptiness? Sorry, I can't do both at the same time, huh? Well, plant that quality by helping other people with understanding. So you getting the idea? What I want, I have to do for others first. You want someone who puts a lot of effort into you? Well, go make lots of efforts in other people. Help them and plant that seed. You want someone who has, more qualities than you, who knows more than you? We'll plant those seeds by helping someone who knows less than you. Help your children, help your friends. You want someone who has deep knowledge? Will help other people learn things, and those seeds will be planted. You want someone who's seen emptiness directly? These are hard seeds to plant. Well, you plant those seeds when you stop yelling at people when they yell at you. When you don't write back that nasty email. You plant that seed when you understand or begin to understand where things come from, because it's not what you think. So, not last, do you want a master instructor in your life who knows your capacity and knows what you need? Well, plant those seeds by helping people where they are. Just don't be a show off and tell people everything you know. Just tell them what they need to know and are able to know. So this is important to help people at their capacity. Do you want a teacher who's an image of love? Play beautiful music. Run outside in a field. Lay on the grass and look up at the stars. Be love for others. Be loyal to others. And just love them. Do you want to be someone who, do you want someone who never tires of helping you? So you plant those seeds while you are not annoyed when someone doesn't know something you told them already 10 times. Have you ever said this? As per my email I sent you last week. Right? How many times have you said this? And this is not helpful. So don't get tired of telling people what they need to know over and over. It takes a lot of patience. So yes, these things are what you want. But you first have to have someone in your life who can unlock the capacity for these ideas for you in your own unique way. So take this list of 10, okay, and make it your practice and offer these things in small ways to other people, and you will become that. You will become the teacher. Oh. And you know what? You will need this person to continue unlocking this door for you all the way to the final step of the path when you flip over into enlightenment. So knowing how to garden and take care of seeds takes qualified guidance through all the steps. And your assignment is to become those 10 qualities in small ways and rejoice in it, because the rejoicing about who you are and how you treat other people is the fertilizer. So start looking at these qualities and rejoice about how you're doing them already, okay? Because that's going to make them ripen faster into your teacher, your guide, the person who has the key to look into your heart safely. And then before you go to bed, review them in your mind, cultivate huge happiness and feelings of joy. And remember often the times during the day when you didn't write that email. And have fun with this, okay? This is really fun when we start looking at how we are and start making changes that will result in the crop that we want to live with. Because these seeds will ripen as the people in your life as your teachers who will guide you on to deeper realizations. So let's dedicate today's good seeds, okay? Close your eyes and think about what we heard today. And we're going to package those seeds up into this dedication. May today's class serve as a cause that all beings have their most perfect teacher at every moment. So remember too that if you have any questions until we meet again, please use the Telegram chat and we can talk about them. And that's it. Have a wonderful couple weeks. And I can't wait to see you again. So please reach out, okay? I'm happy to talk on the phone or write as you wish. I'm here for you. Let's see here if I can see everybody's faces before we go away. Oh, there we are. Oh, there's Julia. Okay. Well, thank you. We'll see you soon. Hi, Cecilia. Thanks, tech. Thanks, translators. Woohoo!